Mindful Flow this evening, and tonight's practice is going to look at our foundation, specifically our foundation anatomically, which is right down here at the feet. So we talk about our feet sometimes when we're talking about rooting poses, grounding poses. We get the idea in our mind of how we want to connect using our feet, but we don't often get into kind of the nitty-gritty of the foot and its anatomy. But it really has a large bearing on posture, on pain through the legs, sometimes even into the back. Has a lot to do with our ability to balance. So the anatomy of the foot and sometimes the challenges or weaknesses that can crop up in the foot have a huge impact on everything else. Not hard to imagine, they carry the entire load. So we're going to think a little bit more about the feet. It's interesting because I had quite a few different students from different places who reached out to me in the last few weeks, and we're talking about various foot issues and how that created an impact with their practice. So it got me to researching, to looking into a little bit more, and I thought it would make a great theme for us this week and to start tonight. So we're actually going to begin in a little bit of a resting pose for the feet by bringing our calves and feet up on top of this bolster. So before we get completely into that position, we're just going to be let's just go ahead and jump into that first, and I'll talk a little bit more as we go along. That way we can start getting to the good stuff immediately. So we've created a restorative structure here to support the legs, 2 tall blocks, and a bolster on top of that block. And you can do this with any size bolster, or you could just bring a bolster or a blanket underneath your knees if you don't have this configuration available where you are. If you're watching this later from the recording, then trying to recreate what we're doing here, you can do it a number of different ways, but we're just trying to start off. We're going to begin and end with a little bit of resting and loving kindness for the feet before we get into working them and stretching them a little bit. So just bring your calves right on top of the bolster. Let your feet hang off of the end. Use this as your starting place to drop in to your space of comfort and ease and relaxing practice. Bring your awareness to your breath to begin, helping to calm your mind and bring your body into more relaxation. Just make it nice, soft, smooth breaths. You don't need to create anything in particular, but just notice that you are breathing. Seems like such a simple thing, but it's something that we overlook probably 99% of the time. Awareness of breath can let anxiety uncurl, can smooth out stresses, takes your body out of its panic mode when any kind of anxiety kicks in. And as you're starting to drop in a little bit deeper into this first shape, bring your awareness to your feet. Your feet that are completely supported by the bolster, by your support system underneath, and start to notice how they are just simply levitating in space. nothing but air all around your feet, your ankles, your heel, your toes, simply floating without any effort whatsoever. Nice that feels after a long day of supporting yourself. Just sort of turning everything upside down and letting that support system get some rest and loving kindness. Take it just a little bit further and imagine that your breath is moving in and out through the soles of your feet. That your breath is somehow finding an airway in through the arch of your feet and is being drawn up into your legs. Reversing its normal flow so that it's creating a path to your lungs and heart. With each breath out, let it out through your nose and release that used energy back out into the earth. So breathing in, breath moving in through the soles of your feet and up through the upper regions of your body. Exhaling out and recycling that energy back to the universe. Let's take 4 or 5 breaths right here. Just picturing that pattern in your mind. Feeling the lightness of your feet. Cycle of breath moving in and out. All right, one more full round of breath. All the way in, right into the center of the arches of your feet. Fill your lungs and let it out one last time. Right, begin to next bring your knees closer into your chest. Bring your feet up on the top of the bolster. Draw your knees in. Maybe hug your knees into your chest. Go ahead and bring your left foot down onto the mat. You might need to create a little space so that you don't knock everything over. And then go ahead and bring your right leg up to the ceiling. Bring your hands behind your right thigh and draw your straight right leg up toward the sky. Start a little bit of pointing and flexing with the right foot. And as you do, I want you to think about the sole of your foot. Think about all of the bones, the little tarsals connecting, the muscles that are pulling your foot forward and back, and particularly the connective tissue between your heel and your toes on the bottom side. Now this is called your plantar. And the plantar is what we're going to try to really think about stretching and strengthening through practice today as you build up strong and healthy feet. Let's continue the pointing and stretching, pointing and flexing. And Think about squeezing that plantar together as you point and stretching it open as you flex. And then you might try some circles with the ankle just to get a little bit more movement into the foot. Nice little sweet circles around and around. Very nice. All right, go ahead and bend your right knee. Take your left hand, slide it down your right shin, and draw your foot closer into your belly, letting your right knee come forward. So we're rotating the hip forward as your knee comes forward and your foot comes back on top of your left thigh. Maybe it can come all the way up into your hip crease. Maybe that's too extreme and you just want to keep it down or on top of your thigh. Just play around with it. Make sure that your knee and your hip are comfortable. And then just let gravity begin to drop your right knee forward as your right hip starts to open up. If you can reach your right foot with your fingers, take your thumbs and start massaging the arch of your foot. Just a little circular motion with your thumbs, if you can reach it, if it's close enough for you to do so. Just take a breath and breathe some compassion, some love into your feet. Continue to let your right hip fall forward. Very nice. Okay, bring that right knee back up. We're going to set the right foot down on the mat. Let's bring the left foot up, straightening your left leg. Bring your fingers just behind the left thigh, just holding it in place. You're not trying to stretch it overly far. You're just trying to get a little bit of opening stretch with your hamstring. So make sure it feels comfortable. Just breathe here, pause for a moment as you stretch that leg out. If you've been sitting all day, this is probably already feeling like quite a stretch. So take it slow, be patient. And then you can begin pointing and flexing the left foot just the same as we did on the right side. Just slow points and flexes. Notice all of the feeling, the connection and sensation that you feel as you change this motion from pointing to flexion. You can feel those connection points come all the way down into the calf muscle, where the Achilles gets a stretch. All of this area is connected, and having healthy feet has an impact on all of these areas around, even like I said, all the way up into the back and lower spine. So stretching that plantar out as you flex, curling it and squeezing in as you point. And then you can try some little circles, just get the ankle warmed up. Slow, easy circles with the ankle. Remember to come back and anchor yourself in your breath. Just stay in the moment. Beautiful. All right, go ahead and bend that left knee. Draw your left foot over to your right thigh. Bring your left knee and allow it to come forward. And maybe drop down to the side and forward toward the front of the mat. Your left foot comes close up to your right hip crease, if that feels appropriate. And you're just going to let that left hip open up all by itself, just by letting gravity drop your knee down. And maybe you could give yourself a little massage with the thumbs once again on the left foot. Really work into that deep tissue. Ooh, give the arches some well-needed massage. Nothing better than a foot massage, if you ask me. There's no reason that you can't do it yourself. It's arguably better to have it done for you. All right, a couple more breaths here. Start Starting out really sweet and gentle, breathing love and compassion into your feet and body. All right, bring your knee back up, release your foot, bring it down. And we're gonna just roll gently over to the side. Come on up. Move my tea so that I don't end up hitting that and spilling tea everywhere along the way. We can take the bolster off now, bring your blocks back up front. And we're going to come on to tabletop position. Actually, you know what? Come on to your seat. I did want to just demonstrate something really fast. As a matter of course, because what I had said in the newsletter was that we were going to be looking at some therapeutic action for the feet in case it gives you trouble. One thing we can do is take a strap and bring it just around the ball of the foot. And instead of using that strap to try to get into the hamstring, we're just going to use the strap around the ball and pull the ball of the foot forward. So you're allowing the toes, you're just stretching it, pretty much what we did when we were laying down, but you're just stretching that foot forward. We're not going to spend a lot of time with this, but I just want you to get the feel of what you can do with a strap. A small towel is also a really good option here if you need a stretch in the plantar. If you have plantar fasciitis, which is a painful condition near the heel, which is caused by a tight arch or the tight plantar, then this is a great stretch for it. And then just take it off of one foot. Let's just give the other one an equal amount of stretch. And again, we're not trying to fold forward here. We're just using the arm to gently stretch. And if you do this at home, you want to hold it for maybe 15-20 seconds. Just release it. So that was just a quick demo I wanted to give you with the strap. Let's go ahead and come on to hands and knees position, so tabletop. And we're going to get into more of the nitty-gritty of our toes today. So come on to tabletop position. Let's warm up the spine just a little bit before we do anything else. From a neutral tabletop position, we're going to drop the belly down as we take a breath in. Tilt the chest forward, come into cow, tilt, and exhale. Press the back of the heart up, really flex through the spine. Inhale to cow. Exhale to cat. That 2 or 3 more times. Really see if you can involve the entire length of the spine as you're moving through cat-cow. So it's not just the upper back moving up and down, but you're really stretching and reaching all the way from the crown of the head to the tailbone. Synchronizing breath, one more round. Exhale. Back to tabletop position. All right, so with tabletop position, I know you have your blocks nearby, so we're probably going to use that in just a moment, but we're going to go ahead and curl the toes under. So from tabletop, starting with curled toes, we're going to walk the hands backwards toward our feet and just bring the hands back so that the feet are starting to come underneath the hips. Just stopping right here, seeing how that feels on your toes. If you're not used to a lot of extreme flexion with the toes, this might already be quite enough for you. You can just pause here, take a few breaths. So my toes are curled under. Hopefully you can see that well enough on the screen. And then you can play around with it. Maybe you can sit all the way up, bringing a little bit more weight back on the heels. more tension or more weight, of course, on the feet, so it's more intense. I can feel it. Bet you can too. And if you feel any pain whatsoever, please just come back to one of the more mild positions. So we're just going to take another breath or two here. Referred to colloquially as toe torture by some people I know, but it's really good for your feet, so hopefully we can stick it out. All right, come on, forward. Oof. Let's uncurl those toes. Bring your feet flat down on the mat. Now we're going to go the opposite way with the feet. Same kind of motion. We're going to go to hero's pose. So feel free to bring a block back with you if you like, or two. If you're using a block in hero's pose instead of sitting on your heels, then you can just bring it between your heels. So we're going to walk the hands backwards once again, and this time with the feet flat instead of the toes curled. I'm going to take the block out for me. You're going to sit all the way back on your heels. So your heels are kind of pressing right into your sits bones. And we're going to take 5 breaths here. There's 1. Lengthen your tailbone down. See if you can bring some nice posture into your spine. Stay with it. Remember to use the block to help facilitate any weak or any difficulty with bringing the knees together. 1 more breath in heroes. We got this. Tops of the feet are now pressing flat down onto the mat. And very nice. Okay, walk the hands forward. And let's just separate the knees and let ourselves come back for a nice long child's pose. Arms are going to reach forward. Walk your fingers out as far as they can go. Deep breath in, and then just let your heart and everything sink down between your knees. All right, come back up to tabletop position. We've got 1 more exercise here involving the toes before we get moving a little bit more. We're going to take both blocks now on a high level, walk them back, curl those toes under 1 more time. We're going to go for a toe balance this time. Now, if the first variation was too difficult and toe balance is not going to work for you, then maybe try the mild version of that first pose again. But if you can, we're going to lift the knees up off of the mat, come into a balancing position with the toes curled under. Start with your hands on the blocks to steady yourself. Find something you can focus on. And now, just on the balls of your feet, using your balance, but getting a nice stretch underneath your feet as well. See if you can let go of those blocks. Stay here for 4 more breaths. There's 3 more. 2 more. 1 more, we've almost got it. And then bring your hands back down to steady yourself. Come on forward, slide those blocks forward again, back to tabletop position, uncurl the toes once again, and 1 more long child's pose. Press back, release the feet, tops of the feet now are pressing down. All right. Come back up to tabletop, and we're going to get moving and grooving just a little bit more. So let's curl the toes under and press up into our first downward facing dog, lifting the knees off the mat. Hips press up and back, lengthen through your spine. Gaze between your feet. Make sure that your feet are about hip distance apart. Your knees can be soft if the hips or hamstrings are still a little bit tight. But do press your hips way up toward the ceiling and find that length. That is nice. nice and relaxed, happy. And you can pedal your feet just a little bit. So you can lift one heel at a time, walking the dog as it were, just walking one foot, bending one knee at a time. And think about how your toes are involved, gripping, using each toe from the big toe all the way out to the pinky. All right, one more time, and then come to stillness. One more long, stretchy breath. And then let's walk the feet forward. Bring ourselves up to the front of the mat and come to a forward folding position, Uttanasana. Hands come down on blocks or the mat. Next breath in, slides your hands up the shins as you lengthen through your spine. Exhale, hinge forward and fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Arms reach out, up and overhead. Full body stretch, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale and bring your hands down by your side. Okay, so I have one more foot demonstration just to take us through, because it's really a great way to get your feet stretched out. There's a lot of different ways to do it, but here's what we're going to do today. So go ahead and bring a block and put it on the low side, so the nice flat surface, the lowest height that you can. We're going to place one foot on top of the block and then slide the foot back so just the ball of the foot is across the edge of that block. Now, hopefully this makes sense. Again, this is a little easier in person, so hopefully you can see this demonstration. But ball of the foot and my toes are on the block. My other foot is down here on the mat. We're just going to let the heel on the foot that's on the block, we're going to let that heel drop down, and then we're going to slightly bend that knee. So from here, we're just going to raise up our left foot. So my right foot is on the block. I'm going to raise up my left foot, come up, let the heel come up, and then down. And you're going to keep pressing down through the right heel, letting it drop down, getting a nice stretch under the sole of the foot. If you need to steady yourself, this takes just a tiny bit of balance, but you're just continuing to press down through that right heel, and it's going to drop a little further and a little further. Oops. And maybe one more. Okay, take that foot down, and we'll try it on the other side. Again, if you need something to steady yourself, find a wall, or maybe do this later if this isn't a good place to try it for you. But we'll try it on the other foot. So just bring the ball of the foot up on the block. Right foot is now a few inches behind. Bend that left knee. Let the heel drop down. And then just little by little, lift the right heel up and down. It's just a small motion. We're not really going anyplace. We're just allowing the body to kind of adjust and let that left heel continue to drop down. Stretching out the plantar. One more. And then bring both feet down. Okay. There's a lot of different things that we can do for the feet. If you have any specific feet issues and you want to bring it up to me outside of class or individually, I can give you some other ideas. There's lots of exercises to do, but those are all the ones that we're going to just tackle right here in this particular practice. All right, so we're going to start with some balancing work now. Again, if you know balance is an issue, you might bring a chair next to you where you can tap the chair or find a place next to the wall. But just beginning here with both feet on the mat, rocking back and forth, feeling those toes lift up, spread them wide, rooting down, and then bring your heels down, lift your toes up Spread your toes, put your big toe down, point it straight forward, and then see if you can fan out your feet. Fan out the rest of the toes just like they were fingers, all the way from the big toe out to the little toe. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine that breath, just like we did in our first posture, drawing both breath and energy up through the soles of your feet, up through the arches of your feet, and see if you can actually feel a lift in the energy coming up through your legs. If you can achieve that, you're almost going to feel a little bit of a suction cup sensation, where it almost feels as if somebody came and shoved you over, that you wouldn't even fall, that you're just going to be suctioned right to that mat, which is a fabulous feeling. This is all created through what we call Pada Bandha, or the root lock of your feet. So just enjoy that for a second. Let's take one more breath in nice mountain pose with Pada Bandha, root lock in place. And then we're going to transfer that feeling just to the left foot, and we're going to lift the right foot up. So lift your right leg up. Bring your hands underneath that right thigh. Lift your energy up through the crown of the head. Point to the left toes. Flex your foot. Point and flex. Point and flex. One more time, point and flex, and then let go of the leg. With the leg up, we're going to take a breath in. So balancing on the one foot, and then exhale, we're going to tap it back. Inhale, lift the foot up. Exhale, tap it back. Inhale, lift. Continue this motion. Your left foot is still locked down on the mat. Those little suction cups are sticking there to help you focus and balance. One more time back. Inhale, lift the right leg up. Take your right hand to the inside of your right knee and open the hip out to the right. So now we're getting the hip opening a little bit here. Left hand is on your waist. One breath here. Flex your right foot if you can. And then we're going to guide the right foot to the left leg, coming to tree pose, bringing that foot either below or above the left knee. Or if you need the stability, it can always come down on the floor. So in tree pose, decide if you'd like to open your arms, or you can keep your hands at your waist, or you can keep one hand on a chair or the wall. Find your ease. Focus and balance. And then bring the right foot down. Oof, beautiful. Let's take one little flow up and down. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale and fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale back, both hands by the side, mountain feet once again. So we're going to go through that same procedure on the right foot, pressing down. So make sure you feel that root lock with your right foot. It's just a feeling of drawing energy up through the arch. Toes are fanned out and you feel all corners of your foot pressing down. As you're ready, lift the left foot up. Bring your hands underneath the thigh. Find something you can focus on. Relax your shoulders. Breathe, stay steady. Find your center. Beautiful. And then you're going to let go of that left leg. Arms are going to come out, and then we're going to tap it back. So we're going to inhale, lift it up. Exhale, tap it back. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, tap. One more time up. One more time back. This time as you lift it up, We're going to take the left hand to the inside of the left knee, open the hip out to the left, flex the left foot, and bring the right hand to your waist. Padangustasana C. Nice hip opening here, still a balancing pose. If you gotta tap it down and start over, it's okay. And then we'll slowly guide that left foot to tree pose, above or below the right knee. Continuing to open the left hip. And decide what you'd like to do with your arms, wherever they feel steadiest, or if you're feeling open and grounded, then open them up. All right, let's step everything down. Great. Beautiful balance today. Inhale, lift your arms up. Exhale, and forward fold. All of which is brought to you through the strength and stability of your beautiful feet. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, and fold. All right, let's step back to downward facing dog. Nice stretchy stretch here. Hips are up. Breathe in and out. Bring your right foot forward between your hands. We're just going to flow a little bit, get some nice full body stretches here. Can't talk. Right foot is between the hands. We're in a low runner's lunge, lifting up through the back of the left thigh. Lengthen in here, you can just kind of stretch forward and back, thinking about those feet the whole time. Where can we get them involved? And then from low lunge, we'll just go ahead and let the left knee descend down. Let's get a little extra stretch in that left hip flexor. And you can decide to keep your toes curled, or they can uncurl. They can flatten out. And then we'll lift back up. We're going to place the left hand on the mat or a block. Right arm lifts up for a little twisting lunge. Exhale, bring the right hand back down. And then from a low lunge, we're going to harness that core energy and prepare to lift ourselves up to high lunge. So lift up from the center. Draw your hips up. Arms reach overhead. Hips are square. And you're staying on the ball of that left foot if you can. If you need to, drop the heel down. Beautiful. From low lunge, we are now going to drop the left heel down, open the arms out, and hips to the left side of our mat as we come to Warrior Two. From Warrior Two, straighten the right leg, bring your arms together, and arch over your right ear. Inhale up, exhale back to Warrior Two. Inhale, lift, straighten your right leg, arch over. Exhale, back, Warrior Two. Go through that again. Inhale, lift, stretch and arch over. Exhale, back to Warrior Two. Turn your right foot parallel so that it's parallel to the ends. Left foot as well. Come to 5-point star. Inhale, reach the hands up. Exhale, fold forward, coming to wide leg forward fold. Hands come down to the mat or blocks. Release through your neck, but keep pulling up through your inner thighs. Inhale, straighten your arms, lengthen through your spine. Exhale and fold forward. Inhale, lift and lengthen. This time bring your hands to your waist. Come all the way up with control. Open your arms back to star. And then we're going to turn the feet. We're going to be facing the back end of our mat. So turn your left toes toward the back. Come into Warrior Two, now facing the other direction. Same thing, inhale, arms reach up, stretch, get a beautiful lateral stretch, and then exhale, back to warrior two. Inhale, straighten your knees, your arms arch over. Exhale, warrior two. One more time, just like that. Exhale back. Inhale, both arms come up, bring your feet together. Exhale, dive forward, wide leg fold. Inhale, walk your hands around to the front of the mat. Come back to runner's lunge and slide that right foot back, downward facing dog. 3 breaths here, or option to take child's pose if that would feel better to you. One more breath, steady as you go. All right. From here, we're going to take the left foot forward this time, coming into low runner's lunge. Stretching that right leg back, feel the Achilles. Ooh, get a stretch. Really see if you can get some nice length here in your low lunge so that you can feel that stretch coming up from the heel and through the Achilles. Crown of the head reaches forward, lengthen. And then slowly allow your right knee to descend straight down. Determine if it feels better to uncurl your toes or leave them up. Your left hip flexor, your right hip flexor, get the stretch. My knee is still tracking over my left ankle. Breathe. Find what feels good to you. All right, let's lift the right knee back up. Hand is on a mat or block. Left arm's going to sweep up, taking a lunging twist. Exhale, bring the hand back down. From low runner's lunge, we're going to transfer our energy up, drawing it upward to high lunge. Now really using the strength of those feet, right? Because that right foot is staying up. Balancing, holding you. All the toes are involved. Beautiful. From high lunge, we're going to let that right heel drop down, open the hips to the right side of the mat. Left knee is tracking over. We're in warrior two. Beautiful. And then inhale, straighten the left knee, bring the arms up. Bring that little arch across. And exhale, right back to warrior two, just like we did on the other side. Inhale, straighten your arms, lift, stretch over. Exhale, back to warrior two. One more time, just moving with your breath. And then this time, inhale, arms come up, pivot on your left foot. Come to 5-point star, opening your arms wide. Feet are parallel. Breath in lifts the energy up. Exhale, hands to your waist, and slowly fold forward into Prasarita Padottanasana, wide leg forward fold. Breath in, comes up to fingertips, lengthen through your spine. Exhale and fold. Inhale and lengthen. Hands come to your waist. Breath out, and then your next inhalation lifts you all the way back up. Bring your arms out. You're starting out in star once again, and then you'll pivot on the right toes this time. They're reaching now toward the back of your mat. Left foot comes at a diagonal. Dip into the right knee. We're right back into warrior two. Hips are nice and open to the side. Inhale, straighten your right knee, arms together, reach over your ear, stretch. Exhale, back to warrior two. Inhale, straighten, lift your arms, palms together. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reach and stretch. Exhale, warrior two. Next time, bring everything up to the center, reach your palms together, pivot on your feet. Exhale back to star, and then fold forward. One more time, wide leg forward fold. Inhale, lift up, walk your hands around to the front of the mat, come back to low runner's lunge, and then slide the left foot back, press back, downward facing dog. This time, everybody's going to come down, bring your knees down, and we're going to press back to child's pose. 3 breaths in a beautiful resting pose. One more full breath here. Right. Come on up. Come to your seat. We're going to bring the knees, we're going to come to a seated position and come to Baddha Konasana, or bound angle pose. If it's more comfortable for you, anytime we're in a seated posture, you can always bring a little cushion underneath your seat, a blanket. Folded blanket is always nice to have on hand. And those knees can come either out really wide, or you can make it a more narrow diamond and they can be forward. Just find a place where you can sustain the posture. Bring the soles of your feet together. Hello, feet. You worked so hard for us today. And just bring those feet all the way together so that they're nice and symmetrical. A light pressure in between. Each opposing toe touching the opposing toe. Bring your hands to your knees just for a breath or two. Letting your hips open wide. And then slide your hands down your feet. And here, if you didn't get the massage before, we're going to try it again. So take your thumbs to your arches, and we're going to open the toes and the soles of your feet like they were a book. So just like you were opening the spine of a book, you're going to open those feet so that you can see the soles and the arches. And then take your thumbs and just find where you need a little bit of love. Maybe it's right in the arch, maybe it's closer up to the toes. If there's any inflammation around the joints, just really pay attention to the one part of the body that usually gets short shrift, not only in our practice, but probably in life. And yet it carries everything for us. Try to relax your hips as you're doing this. So getting a bonus, we're getting hip opening here and some foot love. All right, go ahead and take your thumb, bring it around your big toes, and now we're slowly going to fold forward, bringing your elbows out, just taking a little forward fold to accentuate the posture. Don't go too far, just feel a little stretch in your lower back, and stop wherever it's most appropriate for you. Out front, make them nice and wide. Bring your hands behind your hips, and we'll just counteract that deep opening in bound angle with a bit of movement, getting the juices flowing back again. Just rocking back and forth from side to side on your feet. Windshield wiper. Perfect. All right, so we're going to come back to our seat, and as promised, we're going to end with something sweet and restorative, just like we began. So in our live class today at the library, we did legs up the wall because we all had a wall. And if you have a wall and you prefer to do legs up the wall, wherever you're practicing. I don't have a wall in this space. I have a window and I have a fireplace, so I'm going to always use the bolster when I'm practicing here. But you can do legs up the bolster the same way. So if you want to just build this little incline with a tall block and a short block in front, your bolster can create an incline. We'll just scoot right up to the base of that incline or the base of the wall if that's where you are. And we're just going to let the legs completely go and relax. And our last 5 or 6 minutes are going to be pure bliss. You can turn that down, right? So see if you can relax your lower back. Allow your shoulders to drop down, soften through your neck. Try to find a quiet space that you can just drop in and relax for the next few minutes. I might suggest that you can come back to the visualization of drawing in the breath through your feet. Hopefully, with all the stretching and work we did with the feet, you might feel a little warmth and tingling from all of the extra attention today. And now I'll just let them float up, take the weight off of them. And allow your breath to move slowly and easily. Breath back into your body. Maybe wiggle your toes, fingers. Perhaps bend your knees and slide your feet down the mat. Hug your knees into the chest. Practice by coming back to a seat on the mat. Bringing the arms up overhead, palms together. Deep breath in, drawing in the energy of the universe, and exhale, bring it down to the heart. The light in me is honored and grateful for the light within you. Thank you so much for practicing with me today.